Welcome to day 59, plenty, 21. Each movement today is gonna have 21 repetitions attached to it. The 21 repetitions signify 7 reps in the bottom range, 7 reps in the top range, and 7 reps in the full range. We'll be going through 3 different supersets, and each superset has 2 competing exercises, meaning that they are movements that will make the same part of your body work. Dun dun dun. Superset A, movement 1, is going to be a variation of a split squat. We've got some options here. Option 1 would be to complete the split squat from the bottom position, starting from the ground up with both legs in contact with the floor. Option 2 is going to be a rear foot elevated split squat, meaning that the back foot is going to be elevated up off the floor. The only time that we would elevate up off the ground is if we already have the mobility to work from the ground up. So from this position here, we're going to perform 7 repetitions in this bottom 1/2 of the movement. We're then going to perform 7 repetitions in the top half of the movement, and then 7 repetitions in the full range. We'll repeat that on both sides, and you can absolutely load this in the goblet position or in a side loaded position. Movement 2 is a loaded squat. Descend down into your deepest position. We're going to perform 7 repetitions in that bottom 1/2 of the movement, 7 repetitions in the top 1/2 of the movement, and then 7 repetitions in the full range of the movement. After completing 3 sets of Superset A, we'll then move on to Superset B, and our first movement here is going to be a variation of a push-up. We can perform either a push-up from the flat surface, from an incline, or a decline. Regardless of which push-up variation that you use, the protocol is going to stay the same. The first 7 repetitions are going to focus on movement in that bottom 1/2 of the range. The second set will have movements in the top 1/2 of the range. And the final 7 will have movements in the entire range. Our second movement is an overhead press. The first 7 repetitions are going to focus in this bottom range. The second 7 repetitions will focus in the top range, and then our final 7 are going to be full range repetitions. Superset C, our first movement will be a top-down deadlift. So you're going to load yourself either on the side of the body or have one implement really tight to the front or in between the legs. And we're going to hinge through the hips to our deepest position. Once we get to our deepest position, we're going to push the floor apart, fire on our glutes, and we're going to work this bottom 1/2 for 7 reps, and then the top 1/2 for 7 reps, and then the full range for 7 reps, focusing on stretching through the backside of the body to get as much length as we can. Our second movement is going to be a side lying leg raise. So from this position here on the side of your torso, we're going to ensure that our hips are in full extension as if we got to the top of that deadlift. We're then going to extend our top legs. We've got a nice long line from our head towards our toe. We're going to press our heel as far away from the body as possible, and we're going to slightly internally rotate from the hip, meaning that we're trying to have our toe almost pointed inward. Now, regardless of whether it gets there, it doesn't matter as long as that's the intent of where we're putting the hip. We are then going to perform our leg raise, 7 repetitions in this bottom 1/2 of the movement, 7 repetitions in our top range of the movement, and then 7 repetitions in the full range that we have accessible to the hip. If you found today's protocol to be plenty then give the video a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to our channel.